In this game today, on paper, we should have been annihilated. The enemy tech and team in general outscaled us almost 2-1 and even fielded a whole swathe of Sol Invictus. Red also built a lot of Legion T3, which, as you all might know, are super OP. But we managed to hang on. I'm going to show you why scaling is actually a bit of a trap and how a cheap T3 catapult can humiliate enemy T3. Okay, so let's break down one of the weirdest games I've played in a while. This map, Project SD129, is quite a glorious map in that air controls it to such a degree, and I'm not sure what the meta is, so it goes through there, right? That's where the half is. Generally speaking, you should be taking all these and contesting these ones as well. There's some ones around here you got to take, even up here. So I don't think air can really do that all properly. Already with a 13 OS on air, we're going to be up against it. Whereas over where we are, I'm looking at all this and I'm thinking I'm going to have to go air at some point. But I'm not used to the meta. Do I build a T2? Do I rush towards a T2 that's air? No, I'm not going to do that. On the opposing side, we do have a lower 3-Chev OS with a question mark. So unknown OS, could be a Smurf, Goldens. The fact the Mex hasn't been gotten yet, I'm thinking perhaps a true 3-Chev. The danger players are up north here. We see Biffo, Beezy and Metamaster. No one's super high Chev, actually though, apart from our team. It's really interesting. We've got Hirata and Not Guy at work. 211 OS is 5 Chevs. But on our team, we'll go to a high OS 6 Chev here in the Annihilator. I'm not going to say Te. We've got one Lucky Duck up here. So we should be able to contest the northern bit quite easily, you'd think. And of course, you've got me, the highest OS of all. 28. Nox is doing a really good job here, harassing. But Nan1, a little bit more experience, trusts the commander. And in the end, does Noxic hold? Sort of. This is the contested mexes here, so we'll lose in a few grunts to actually get that light laser tower up. Slightly noobish to go these mexes right away. Should have gone straight into the laser tower. And now we're going to see that Rocketeer actually get a chance to take that down. Perhaps not. No, these Rocketeers will have a good chance at it. You okay, Fat, says Juan Diaglo. So Fat Boy 116 is freaking out. Everything looks a bit more stable in the north, but the south just this crazy firefight. That LLT is down, and there's no real competitive units. The grunts can't do anything. I think Nanwood's got this in the bag, so showing the experience there. Llama 16 OS against Not Guy at work. Here we go, the Incisor rushes. The reason they were apparently nerfed is because of this ability. They do seem to have less health, don't they? Moving forward here. Taking out all the mexes. Got quite a lot of DPS still with these 4, so you don't want to hang around trying to take on thugs and whatnot though. So continuing to go around the crystals. Looks like one Incisor might get taken out here, yeah. They don't last long against thugs, do they? They need more than a 3-to-1 advantage against thugs, so that's crazy. A light laser turret would have come in very handy here. Not Guy at work, getting a brutal run by. Painful. Taking down the energy, which honestly surprises me. But I guess, why not? Just running away at the moment. Oh, is it going to make it? I don't think so, no. It's pretty effective though. The Guy at work doesn't have any eco to speak of against Llama, who has a massive eco. So really, the behind player here in Hirata's going to have to hold the line for a while. Up north, we see Biffo Beezy utilising the Thug Walk, even against Decurions, which is an interesting matchup. One Lucky Duck repairing this Decurion. Can't seem to knock it down. Yeesh. There's actually some pretty good micro there. Thugs showing they're not outclassed at all. They're trading very, very well. I think they've got a small range advantage. I think that might have been a balance patch thing. So the Decurion is much more a balanced unit now. To lose one of these is painful as well. It's 300 metal. Whereas the Thug's pretty cheap actually. It's less than half the cost. over where we are, it's the 7-minute 20 mark, and we are palming off the T2 like crazy to people. We've managed to capture these mexes here. I'm not sure if this is the meta. Over here, Pink rather has captured these mexes here. I feel like I have shortchanged Aiden a little bit, sorry mate. Whereas Nan1 has this massive economy all through here. So it's all good, it's all going to the team. Let me know what is the meta. Is this the actual correct meta? So the thugs are just right at the edge of the Decurions, and it's working for them. They're taking down a Decurion for every single thug, or so it seems like. Now here we go. T2 now. What the hell, T2? The 8-minute mark. Oh man, Aiden. This is just rush towards T2 without sacrificing the commander. So no backup for one Lucky Duck, who sorely needs it against this difficult Biffo BZ player, which has learnt how to use thugs. Sometimes just using one unit really well is where it's at. Brought in the barrages. Hopefully these don't get sniped. It looks like they're going to. Oh no! Oh no, they're going to get sniped. They're so slow. Oh, you've just got to hit and run with these guys. They can't sit there. They've got to fire and retreat. One Lucky Duck just hasn't quite practiced enough with Legion yet. In saying that, I've got terrible micro with these Decurions. All I know is to rush forward with them. You don't want them sitting back here not firing. But obviously it would be nicer to retain some of those injured Decurions, send them back for heals. The thugs here have narrowly won, I think just through the skill of micro. It's overrun, and it's close. Look at all this metal. One Lucky Duck resigns, 2k metal on the board. South, yellow, is moving up here with brutes. Is going to completely pinch off that base now, and there's nothing here but a few Decurions. Down south, the teams have stabilised a little bit. Look at this. Knock guy at work is still in it. And as expected, the Annihilator is doing really well. The Sarta's doing a bit of damage. Brutes at the front tanking. Very close. Wow, manages to actually keep them alive. Gonna just run them into the lasers though, that's a pity. Very vulnerable, can go through and get rid of those construction turrets. The T2 base here looking very exposed. The Sarta's just duking it out at the moment, allowing the enemy to respond. But it's all good, the Annihilator stays in the fight, and that's probably more important at the moment. We're having to come up and stabilise this front at the moment, so I can't continue to madly scale. Although the income we've got is pretty damn good. Look at that metal produced. Crazy. Of course, I haven't had to produce any units up till now. Goes to show what a quick T2 upgrade can do for you. We're even outpacing Fat Boy by quite a bit. Not the worst tactic to build a heap of these advanced solar collectors as well. I think I might do that next time on this map. But we've got a front to stabilise now. We take over the base up here. It's time for us to surprise attack Biffo BZ. Nice. Very expensive trade, but at least we took out the commander. Sometimes taking the commander out can just pay such dividends, particularly if the commander's too far forward. So even if they get the metal back, I don't care. That commander not being there just means a potential future problematic D-gun unit is taken off the board, which is going to be the very near future indeed. Also, practically speaking, because the commander can pick up metal in a contested zone because of the higher hit points and secure a zone, it's such a versatile unit that D-gun aside, it's still great to take it out. So the Sheldons are here securing the zone for Biffo BZ. But the one thing we've got over Biffo BZ, we've got twice the economy. We've also taken a number of mixes down the bottom here. But look at our team. All of these aren't taken for whatever reason. And this one here is taken by the opposition. What a nightmare. So that's possibly my fault. Perhaps tech should be involved in taking half of this. I've belatedly taken the mexes and now built a T2 aircon to upgrade them at the 15-minute mark, but I don't know. How do you contest this early on? I guess you make sure your air is patrolling all out to here. That's what Eco's done. They've gone air, whereas I've had to help out the lane, so there you go. It's not looking good for us, let's put it that way. Still relying on these Sardas, but we have got the Karkanos as well. Honestly, it's a slept-on unit. Let's see how they go versus the Sumos here. This will be an interesting trade. Not the worst trade, because these are 560 metal units. It's still not good, it's a T2 unit after all. Just goes to show, staying in T1 is not necessarily that bad. Of course, if this could have been taken out, that would have been gold. We've taken command here of the front base, and we had a T2 that we gifted from before to utilise, so that's okay. So we're going to build a pretty good set of defences here, so we mightn't be taking half the map here, but we're able to put a fallback line of around here. At least on our side, I don't see anything from the Annihilator who's going 100% the offence against Sumos. Look at this. 11 against 3. The Karkanos holding the line. There's still 3 Sumos. Oh no, the Arbiter's coming up to the front line. Very brave. Starting to get the surround. Now this is where the Karkanos will start to overcome the Sumos. 3 barrages adding to the spice of the front. And it's just this T2 lab producing 1 unit at a time. They are a good unit to feed to the enemy though, the Sumos. They're hard to swallow down, but still. Over here at the moment, we're moving forward, forcing the Sheldons back to this base here. This forward advanced bot lab. But we probably don't have the numbers to carry this forward. We're both prioritising each other's Sheldons. But I think Red has the advantage in the number of grunts coming out at the moment. I mean, this is Red fighting for survival here against us at the end of a very long supply line. I'm trying to gear up, but it's not quite enough. In fact, I can't even spend all the metal because I don't have the energy in place. We're trying to remedy that now with a second reactor. Up here we managed to take a couple of mexes and trying to upgrade the rest of them. But we can see on the scorecard here, the red team have a 30% lead on us. So already starting to break away from us. And I think that's primarily thanks to Fat Boy scaling at the moment. While we're having to basically contest against red here. Unfortunately, our forward shredders, not a decent frontline unit, got overrun. We do have this fallback position, so we should be safe regardless. So the Persecutor's up. Where is the range on that? Not super duper. It's such a big map, but it's always good to have some depth and defense. I'm feeling like, though, maybe I should have put the Persecutor, like, here, I don't know. Just so it can help out with the targets here. I'm pretty sure it can hit the ones here as well. Now I look at it, I'm pretty sure I could get a Persecutor up on here. That would be killer. No one's fortifying these rocks. I think that's a mistake. All a little bit too flat out at the moment. Down south, I think Orange Noxid is going to make sure this line stands. Despite it being close to their base. It looks pretty comprehensively safe. Down south, we've got these Arquebuses face-tanking Tigers. That's interesting. So I feel like the south is going to be the one to let the team down. This Tiger Blob just massacring the units here. Getting surround damage. They're starting to run out of steam a little bit. Oh, I think they're going to take down every Arquebus. Not quite. They're actually retreating. Ah, I see why. Chimera, they do horrific damage. Of course, the T2 static defences. Look at that. Wow. The south is absolutely annihilated here. Check Raid's just not even having to really do anything, just sit in the base. Up north, Red's getting a little bit feisty. Good thing we built that Persecutor, huh? Now, it's cool to build the Sheldons and move into Shivers fairly early. They complement one another. You can just put them in the same group. They've got about a similar range. And it's very intimidating to face that fire. Like, it's a lot of points on the board. And you see that Sheldon moving forward, you're like, holy hell. It's not a pleasant line to try and attack. We're moving forward with a Shiver here, just I wanted to try and snipe the Sheldons if I could. We've got this response force of the Fiends. An interesting tactic is just to have them in reserve and push forward with a target of opportunity. But as soon as you move away, the skirmishers will attrit those units fairly heavily. A mammoth in the middle, holding this all down. For whatever reason, Llama here decided to stop, recollecting themselves for the advance. Air mightn't be the most sophisticated air. Mightn't have got all the mechs as they were supposed to or whatever. That's fine, Drapan. You don't need to be the best player for Chev. Has built 105 thistles. Almost 10,000 metals worth of thistles all along here. Isn't this just cool as? I wish all air players done that. Usually an air player just builds APHIS, totally under-invests on fighters, and AA, they never heard of that. Look at this, a gigantic map, and pretty much walled off a good third of the donut with thistles. Completely dense thistles as well, but not any spacing. So Red's starting to panic here. Need T3. Starting to feel the shiver pressure. Down south with my little mini-map eye, I do see Green getting the advantage here. Perhaps it was wise after all, just recollecting themselves, getting another Tsar on the scene, just to make sure to completely overrun the base here. Not Guy at work, is out of work completely as far as bar goes, by the looks of it. Our shivers are just moving forward the grunts, we don't even care. Focusing down other units like the Mammoth and the Sheldon. The reason we're moving forward, I'm not just a man who says things, I actually try and implement it, is we are moving forward to take down all these damn construction turrets and get rid of this production. It's been so hard to put up against Red doing that, and it's glorious we get to actually take this down. I'm not sure we're going to completely take this all down. We can take down the construction turrets. That's good enough for me. Takes a long time, even with Tsars, to fully defeat a base, doesn't it? Surely there should be a response force here. It's all left to not Guy at work. Hirata's just cruising. Slowly making an incinerator, I see. Just transitioning, unfortunately. It's all come at an awkward time. We're moving forward once more with the 4 Shivers. Or Shivas, sorry. I've been corrected for that. 4 Shivas moving forward. These annoying Sheldons flawlessly microed. And we've got Daniel Go, like, I don't know. Is that his name? We've got Juan, the sneaky commander here. Moving forward, we can't see him. Totally invisible. Our radar bot is long dead due to our negligence. I think we're able to take down the T2 here. That's not bad, honestly. Taking these down is such an achievement. We only had 2 left, but what does it matter? 45 metal a second income left for Red. We've certainly knocked them back a fair bit, while we've got 271 metal income. I'm even impressed by that. How did it get so high? Well, 214 it settles back down to. But if we look over at our friend over here, 400 metal a second income. Oh no. Look at that difference in energy per second. We've got a metal advantage at the moment we must be reclaiming. How do we have that advantage so high? There we go. It's back to normality. So yeah, 56% increase on energy per second. That's a disaster. The only thing going for us is we've managed to take out a number of forward bases. But on the other hand, we've got this getting built here in Olympus. We've got this forward base here. It's a disaster. We've brought up some other units, so not just building Shivas, we're also building these catapults. And Demon. Utilising the speed of the Demon here to try and take down the Sheldon force. More than worth it, but I see an opportunity in these construction turrets. I'm like, yeah, I see that. Oh no! I didn't know that was going to happen. An absolute waste of a Demon. In the confusion, my catapult also gets taken down. Had taken down this base, however. So, there you go. Just a crazy, crazy game. Apparently, someone is sharing transports to everyone all the time. I'm not sure if it's some sort of elaborate scheme to provide metal. Launder some metal to others. That's all heavy transports are good for. So we're saved by the fact their air player is not the best. The Sol Invictus is out and about, creating damage. Interesting strategy here with the surround tigers, stopping the D-gun. The tiger's just an elaborate distraction. South is so busy, oh my. Up north, it's just this struggle. Green has got a number of reclaimers here. I like it. While we're moving forward, slowly taking mexes. But these Keras are on point. Now, this is the reason I want to show you guys this game initially, is to show you how good the Legion T3 units are. I had no idea how good the Keras were till I really looked at them. Their DPS is good. They've got 2 times heavy rotary cannons. The DPS is 150, 481 range. So it's pretty decent range for something that basically is guaranteed hit. It's also got a heavy riot cannon, and I guess that's just to stop units surrounding them or slow them down. I don't really know. Very limited in range, but it has got a reasonable 235 DPS. They can stand at a mid sort of 500 range distance, but it's better off to actually close in with these guys to realise the full DPS, because they're essentially a heavy tank, and that's what it says. It's a heavy assault and anti-swarm tank. I think it just should be called a heavy as hell tank, because it's got a huge amount of hit points. Yeah, it's over 20,000, it's like 22,000 or so. The speed is 48, fairly standard for something heavy. I think exactly the same as a Shiva. They're just, of course, a tank, which is a little bit more awkward. But look at this cost here, 2,600. Now, the Shiva's actually not a good comparison, because it's a little bit of a cheaper unit. But to my mind, these things trade... I mean, it wouldn't be quite 2 to 1, but it almost seems like that in practice. They seem really, really tough. What they're a good comparison with on the Cortex side is actually the Karganath. We see the DPS is 600, the range is a little bit more, but these are actually slower units. They've only got 12,000 hit points, and they're the same cost. So would you rather a Keres or a Karganath? Now, obviously in a canyon-like terrain, you're going to want a Karganath. Karganath are also very long range in comparison. They've got a little bit of extra range, so it's not a complete comparison. But these things have got double the hit points. They're fantastically tanky. An actual T3 tank. I love it. So for the role they fill, absolutely excellent. We're going to show them what's up though with the Demon and Shiva. Okay, so we've just managed to take a wounded Keres down then. Keep in mind here, we've got 15,000 worth of metal against 5,000 worth of metal here. And look what happens. 2 wounded Keres. Look at that. Takes down the demon. No worries. So they traded favourably, and it was 3 to 1 metal advantage I had there. The demon's no slouch. And here we go, another Keres. Very cheap unit. So, although red has got the smaller economy, these are so damn efficient, I don't know how to deal with them. Alongside the grunts as well. The grunts aren't hurting us too much, but they are providing line of sight. The only thing that's sort of saving us is this catapult. I'm able to stop these Sheldons finally, annoying us all the time. We actually forced the Sheldons to move forward there, and I could then take them out with my Shiva. Just to try and avoid that catapult fire. Keres actually might catch my catapult here as they move forward. Oh, we're just outside the range. No! Exactly the same speed. Are they going to be impulsed at all? Not really. Oh, finally. They turn around. Just about take out my catapult. Very vulnerable. We've got a Sol Invictus from Fatboy 116 here. The fat is hitting us. But Aiden, 420. 3 Chev extraordinaire. Moving up fearlessly with the commander. It cannot be seen as completely ninja. Somehow it's picked... How did you... For some reason, it started firing at the commander. I don't know how. Someone let me know in the comments how that is possible. But Aiden done it anyway. Down south, the Tigers march forward. Yet again, a resurrected Not Guy at workspace. Come back from the dead. I thought surely it would be Heritor by now, but no. The incinerators are completely outflanked. Just slowly like... Go down. Oh no. They're possibly going to get through here. What's happening up north? So tripling down on the Kerrys, who are starting to meet their match though, against all these catapults. Sorry, I'll move the speed up a bit. A couple of them looking the worse for wear. I think they took them all down. Look how far they got up. Huge medal donation. The southern team now needs to keep up the pressure. But Noxid's actually under a little bit of trouble here. Oh no, the whole base is exposed. See another Sol Invictus moving up from Tech. Big line, but you're not going to get past these incinerators, who should not be grouped up so much, but it's just the way they were. I think this one incinerator at Sheldon's are going to be enough to fend this off. Coming up from the south, though, are the Tigers. They're good units. For run-bys, they're premier units all the way into T3. There's no doubt about it. They punch above their weight, truly. I think this is it for the whole base. No, they managed to blow themselves up on the reactor. Will they take down the APHIS? That will be the death knell for the base. There we go. One mech's left. Oh, my team's so good. Punching above their weight. Nanwan, Llama, and Check Raise. Good on you guys. Over on our side, we are simply trying to stay in the game. I'm not scaling too much. We're starting to get some APHISs blatantly. We're a little bit behind. But we've had to help out the north. Without us, it would have collapsed by now. We've just been stuck in this position. Also, I've been helping out air. So I've got some air to call on. As we can see here, we're actually attacking with air, because we were facing some air-to-ground assets there. And I've decided to actually commit these to an attack. Put the FAT under a little bit of pressure. The catapults here up against the Sol Invictus now. The Kerrys are taken out by our forces. Mainly the catapults, I consider. As we see the damage tick up to the top. Well far above in the team stats. I think it's these bad boys, these catapults, that are doing all the heavy lifting. Let's see what they do against the Sol Invictus though. Honestly, as we look at the hit points, that was like 3,000 hit points worth of damage in one salvo there. It's not bad, and it's area of effect. They've gone down 10,000 hit points, and there's only 3 catapults here. I just wanted to mention something. If you ever comment on my games, I try and be really gracious, but I will stick to my guns a little bit. And this is one of the areas I've stuck to my guns with, is how good the catapult is compared to the Vanguard. We're all pretty familiar with the Vanguard, I think. Does like 170 DPS, has a few thousand hit points, is a little bit cheaper. But the catapult, oh man, whatever DPS is correct here, it's got 600 solid DPS. And the thing is, it's done over such an unbelievable area of effect. It's also got impulse damage as well, so it does in fact have impulse damage. So 3 of these is able to knock out an easy 1800 DPS, which is reasonable. That's almost the DPS this Juggernaut's dealing, and costs a whole heap less metal. The only thing is it's a little bit spread out, the DPS, so it's a bit different, but still you can see those salvos took a huge chunk out of the Sol Invictus. And the Kerrys, we took them down a reasonable amount of time, because they weren't backed up by anything. So the catapults had free reign. They can kite things endlessly, particularly T3. Apart from fast T3, they can kite it all. So you still need a shiver line or something, I do believe, in front of catapults, but I have seen high OS, 50 OS players just use like 6 catapults, and that's all they got, and they got some static defense or whatever. I don't find in any sort of situation 3 Vanguards would be reducing a Sol Invictus's hit points to the degree these things do. Aiden moving forward once again to assist. Thank God Aiden's got a Juggernaut out. Has just sat there and scaled like crazy just to build Juggernauts. Was totally worth it for this one interaction. The Juggernaut's a fine unit. The Sol Invictus is getting some surround damage on this, trying to save the Juggernaut now. But now these Astrius are coming out. Geez, these are painful units. So these things, yeah, the Catapult's good, but the Astrius is next level. So the Astrius is like range 3,100. Unbelievable. Like, they don't need to have that amount of range. Like, that's ridiculous. The range on these things is 1350, right? So right away, the Astrius is in another dimension. They've got the DPS of a Vanguard, which, you know, okay, it is what it is. The range is 3,100. How can you argue with that? And so if you manage, like Red has here, to get up, which is a reasonable cost, 55,000's metal worth, that can basically counter our catapults fairly well, because our catapults don't have a lot of health. So they have actually found the counter unit here, which you'd expect Red to do. A demon here sacrificed to the altar of Sol Invictus. But look at this down south. Nan1 moving forward with Titans. We've turned around the eco game because we're destroying so many bases down south, I believe. A nuke might have come through here and here, outside the anti-nuke shield. Our team is just playing extremely well. And we're here bullying the Sol Invictus. I don't want it to survive. I'm marching forward with the catapults. There we go. It had 3,000 hit points. Got taken down 2 salvos. Now it's working on the next Sol Invictus. But yeah, look at the Astrius. Snipes a catapult. It's not very nice. Finally, we're starting to crumble. But I think we would have been okay. Just a couple of players might have died here. The carry's finally coming out. But it's okay. So these were the 3 players here. Nan1, Llama, and Check-Raise. They've all got good stats, good damage efficiencies, high APMs. Look at that, even Nan1's got a huge economy. It's as big as mine. Played unreal games, guys, actually, together. None of them played a bad game. Even our air. Pleasantly surprised. I'm not sure if these were actually used in the end. No, they just acted as a massive disincentive to attack. We actually won the air war in the end, believe it or not. So we're up against Metamaster, who was having an excellent time. That was helped by the donated Sol Invictus, actually. Llama actually got destroyed enemy resource production. Definitely deserved that. Yeah, we got destroyed enemy units' defenses simply because we were tackling such big T3. But honestly, I got outscaled there. I just couldn't scale up properly. I had to put a lot of shivers on the front to sort of cover that early push forward by Red. It's more my playstyle anyway to do that, to try and cover for my team rather than endlessly scale while sacrificing the rest of the team. And I think this game showed it. I think it's the better option. If you're in a tech position and you've got to patch up an area of the front or scale, please patch up the area of the front. And the thing is about trying to patch it up with Sol Invictus, they can be taken out by commanders. They're slow to get to the front. They can be countered, particularly just one of them, by another T3 or a bunch of lighter T3. So in the end, you're better off to actually donate a heap of metal. I wasn't watching, you guys might have been watching, but if Tech had simply donated a heap of metal to Red, I think we would have been in a lot of trouble. We might have lost that game. In fact, I think we would have. But it went the Sol Invictus route. As good as they are, it wasn't the play. All right, guys, thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed the game, and see you next video.